What's going on, guys? It's Josh. Welcome back to the Mustang. You joined me on a beautiful Monday evening. I'm currently on my way to the gym. I wanted to go on through what I think are kind of like the top 5 things that I love about this car. There's quite a few things to love about it, but I wanted to pick out what I think is the top 5. To be honest, I'm kind of going off the head on this one, but the first one I would have to say is probably the sound. The sound is just absolutely breathtaking every single time that I hear it. One of my personal favorite things about this sound in particular, this one of course has the Corsa exhaust on it. So whenever I let off or change down gear, it just burbles uncontrollably. It's almost as though it's got a burble tune on it, if you can hear that. And I just laugh like a little kid every single time it does it, and I'm not gonna complain. It's great. So the sound has definitely got to be number one. It makes people's day. I will say it is probably is a little bit too loud in the mornings. I have gotten a couple of complaints in the mornings, and one of my neighbors texted me one day after I got up. I help out every Sunday at my church, and I usually have to leave my house by 5:45 to do so. And my neighbor texted me one morning. He said, "Josh, I heard your car at exactly 5:48 this morning." He lives 2 streets away. So if that tells you anything with how loud the Corsa exhaust is, it's a little bit insane. Second thing I've got to say that I absolutely love about this car, though, easily, is the handling of it. It just handles so flat pretty much all the way through every corner. It doesn't really, I don't really feel, that's fine. I don't feel nervous taking it around turns, hardly at all. I think a large portion of that does have to do with the wheels and tires I recently put on it. If you haven't seen my video on that, it's a couple of videos ago. But these tires do hook up really well. But the car itself is set up really well. The previous owner put on Steeda low ring springs, Steeda shocks, and Steeda struts. So the car handles extremely, extremely well. There is a couple of things I still want to do to it handling wise. I'll probably end up putting on some roll bars, I think. But other than that, it's like a dream. Yeah, so number 2, the handling. So for number 3, I would probably have to go with the power. Granted, I know it's only 435 crank horsepower, so it's not like it's the most power in the world. And I mean, this one does have a couple of upgrades, exhaust and intake, so it probably is making a little bit more than that. Give or take maybe 15 extra horsepower, which really, again, is not that much extra horse. But coming from what I came from, which was an old 2004 Mercedes C-Class, right? And it was an automatic. I did not have a manual. They only made a handful of manuals in that car, actually, so would have been lucky if I got one, to be honest with you. But coming from that car, where felt like I was always at a disadvantage whenever I was trying to overtake somebody, or couldn't really have any fun on a back road like I could, but I had to give the car everything in order to get anything out of it. This, with the power that it has, I can have fun at literally any speed. Just give it a little bit of gas, and I'm enjoying myself, which is always great, you know? I haven't gotten any tickets in it yet either. So knock on wood, that stays the same. But yeah, I mean, the power also too, just being in traffic, it's really nice to be able to know, like, okay, well, there's a gap there. I kind of need to just get on it a little bit, right? And that's all I need to do. Like, if I get on it just a tiny bit, just enough, right? Just enough to get by, then I'm good. Whereas in the Mercedes, it was like I had to give it everything. I had to shift down 3 times. I had to get full throttle to be able to get by somebody through a small gap. And this thing, I just downshift once, put in a little throttle, and I'm good. So this thing, in a way, we could call it a safety feature, right? Like, it's not technically meant to be that, but we can call it that. We can call it a safety feature. So I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. Number 3 rather, power. So for number 4, I would definitely have to go with just how comfortable this car is. I didn't really expect it to be that comfortable. Especially, again, coming from a Mercedes C-Class, that thing, even though it was quite old, it was quite comfortable. It was very good on road trips. No real issues, on the highway. Did every once in a while, once you got up to speed. Once you got up to certain speeds, it would kind of want to track all over the place with the wind. But otherwise, like, the Mercedes was great. It was extremely comfortable. It wasn't a harsh ride. This thing, with the suspension mods put on it, I very much expected it to be way rougher than it is. And frankly, while yes, you do feel the bumps, it's not like it's a jarring ride. The seats are extremely comfortable. The suspension isn't too stiff to where you feel absolutely everything. And once I switched over the tires, the car stopped tracking around all over the place as well. And so it just made the car really comfortable and really easy to drive. I've taken this on a couple of road trips now. Taking it down to Naples, and I've taken it down taking it up rather to Dade City. And granted, they're not massive road trips, but they're road trips enough to be able to be like, yes, this is a pretty comfortable car on interstate travel. So this thing is fantastic. Long distance, short distance even, it's very easy. And it's not hard to drive, which is number 5. Definitely just how easy this thing is to drive. With this being my first manual car, granted I have driven a couple of manual cars in the past that I've practiced on, but I really haven't had like sufficient practice to be like, yeah, I'm fluent in manual. I just knew how to do it. I knew the basics, but I hadn't had enough practice to be like, yeah, I know manual. So coming over to this thing, it was I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit intimidating. 435 plus horsepower, manual, rear wheel drive. I didn't really know what to expect with it being my first manual car. It took me probably about a week to become properly proficient with it. I didn't really stall it whenever I first got it. But I'm gonna owe a lot of that to just how much torque this thing has. It's very easy to get it out of first gear if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner at manual, that is, of course. So, definitely extremely easy to drive in that sense. And then this thing, once you get used to the size, which again, coming from such a tiny car, was a little bit daunting as well. But once you get used to the size, placing this thing everywhere is extremely easy. It really doesn't have any difficulties, again, with handling. I don't feel scared going through anything, so it just inspires confidence the entire time. And literally anybody that has the ability to drive manual can drive my car, basically. It's not scary. You're not going to spin with these wheels and tires, that is, at least, because the old ones did. But you're not going to spin if you get on it in any gear. It just hooks and goes. So it's really, really easy to drive, and it just inspires so much confidence. Driving in traffic is extremely easy as well. I don't have any issues doing so. The clutch is not that heavy. It's pretty light. Don't have any issues with it there. Every once in a while, I will say, if I'm sitting on the clutch for too long, like a dummy, then my calf does start to hurt pretty bad, and especially after leg days. I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying if you guys work out frequently. But other than that, like, this car is just so easy to drive. I will say that this MT82 transmission, which I won't get into too much in this video, I might do a 5 things I hate just to even things out. This MT82 transmission is not that great. It does like to luck out a little bit every once in a while. So that is one thing that I will definitely critique this car on. But again, more to come on that more than likely in the future. So yeah, I will leave you guys there. That's 5 things that I absolutely love about this car. So yeah, I will leave you guys there. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know anything you want me to do, anything you want me to record, any critiques you had about the video. I'm always looking for ways that I can improve, since of course this is a very new channel, and I want to be able to improve it, and I want to be able to keep uploading content. So if you guys did enjoy, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and give me a follow on Instagram if you want to see some more Mustang content. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a good one.